I want to go really hard and really deep into the industry, and I want to say, what country was the pavlova first made?
Dave, we all know it's Australia. The New Zealanders constantly trying to take Australian talent, make a video and turn it into their own. We know it.
Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Please thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from somewhere in New Zealand, it's The Global Show with your host, Dave Benson.
Welcome back. It's Monday, and this can mean one thing. You've reached The Global Show, the #1 independent talk show on the planet. And I'm your host, Dave Benson. Now, if this is your first time here, oh man, you're in for a real treat. This is a late night style talk show inspired by the bold idea of doing something. We're not entirely sure what that something is yet, but we're enjoying the process of finding out. What a week. What a week it's been. We are barely 2 weeks into January and the world is already spinning 2 steps faster than anyone asked for. Everyone seems confident, very decisive, very sure they're back in control, which made me look back, not at the year, at history. Because I realized there is a question no one ever asked. And I feel history demands an answer. Now, in his song, Hello, Lionel Richie says, "Hello, is it me you're looking for?" Now this raises an obvious issue. Did anyone ever respond? Because we never hear the other side of that conversation. No reply, no acknowledgement, no, "Hey Lionel, sorry I missed this, I'm just getting back to you now." Just him standing there, emotionally available and deeply patient. Look at him. The poor guy. Oh, Lionel. Hello. This truly means one of two things. Either someone eventually answered and we never got the sequel to that, or Lionel spent an entire song leaving the most vulnerable voicemail in human history. Now, honestly, both answers feel possible. So with that unsolved and Lionel still waiting by the phone, let's kick into the monologue.
Gears engaged, pressure steady, system at peak performance. Standing by.
All right, let's start with the news. And as always, these are real stories, which is important because if I made these up, I'd be required to log off and, well, talk to someone. First up, an emu escaped during a New Year's fireworks and disappeared into a forest. An emu. Now, this wasn't panic. This was premeditated. Authorities said the emu was spooked, which feels unfair because, well, fireworks screaming in the sky. They found him the next morning, calm, safe, and completely uninterested in returning. That bird saw 2026 coming and said, absolutely not. In Brazil, zoos started giving animals popsicles during a heat wave. Frozen fruit for the monkeys, frozen meat for the lions. Meanwhile, I opened my freezer and everything tastes like regret. And poor life choices. Somewhere a penguin finally felt understood. Pennsylvania crowned a winner of its annual mullet contest. Judges assessed length, style and commitment, which means somewhere a man looked in the mirror and said, "This isn't a haircut, this is a belief system." Scientists confirm dogs can learn words just by listening to us talk, which explains why your dog instantly reacts to, well, walk and treat, but pretends it doesn't understand bath. Dogs, they're not confused, they're selective. In New Jersey, a dog escaped, ran onto the turnpike, and was rescued using drones. Drones! The future is here, and it's chasing Labradors. The dog was found safe, mildly offended, and still believes it almost made it. Betty Boop entered the public domain this year, which means Betty Boop is now legally available for remixes, reboots and deeply cursed TikToks. Somewhere a creator is already pitching Betty Boop, but she's an influencer. In Germany, a surf park removed a wave machine and surfers lost their minds. Protests, petitions, rage, nothing fuels outrage faster than someone taking away artificial fun. A Mississippi restaurant installed giant lazy Susans so strangers can share rotating food. Now this sounds lovely until you realise nobody trusts strangers with garlic bread. Gonna need that back. In the UK, a baker called Mexican bread ugly. And the internet responded with the immediate cultural education and fury because insulting bread is how wars begin. At the Australian Open, a tennis player celebrated winning before realising he was wrong, which is the most relatable moment in sports history. We've all sent that email too early. Scientists discovered a natural sunscreen compound in bacteria living in hot springs. Now this means the solution to sunburn has been boiling quietly for some time now, watching us struggle. A new worm species was found in the salts, the Great Salt Lake, one of the saltiest places on Earth. I'm going to say salt a few more times, Tom. Salt, salt, Salt Lake, salt. Even worms have found a niche market now. Researchers uncovered a secret chemical war between beetles and trees. Trees are producing toxins. Beetles are hacking them. Nature is metal. Scientists reconstructed a 12,000-year-old herpes virus. You didn't mishear me. I just said scientists reconstructed a 12,000-year-old herpes virus, which is impressive, fascinating, and absolutely not something we needed back. And a famous fossil might not be who we thought it was. Even bones are having identity crises these days. What's happening in the YouTube world? Mr. Beast says he has negative money. Negative. The man who casually gives away islands checks his bank balance and it just exhales sadly. He says he reinvests everything and sometimes borrows money to fund videos, which means the richest YouTuber on earth is essentially running a global charity powered by debt, well, and optimism. Somewhere a financial advisor is quietly screaming into a pillow. Stephen Bartlett hired someone with a 2-line CV. 2 lines, not pages, not bullet points, 2 sentences. Why? Because she thanked the security guard and followed up with better answers after the interview, which officially destroys LinkedIn. You can stop pretending endorsements matter now. The new algorithm, well, that's manners. A YouTuber went undercover at Best Buy pretending to be an employee. Now this guy sold 2 products, helped real customers, and he actually lasted 45 minutes before a security escorted him out, which is impressive. Most of us can't find a HDMI cable without adult supervision. Security basically said, "Sir, you're too competent. Please leave." Kai Sennett uploaded a video titled, "I quit." The internet panicked, fans mourned, comment sections entered emergency mode. Turns out he's quitting stress, reading books and launching a clothing line, which means YouTube's most reliable genre remains announcement videos that announce personal growth. Jake Paul broke his jaw in a boxing match and is now medically suspended, which feels less like punishment and more like the universe gently tapping the brakes. Doctors say he can't fight until fully healed. Jake says it's just another chapter in the journey, which is impressive optimism for a man whose jaw is currently in 2 separate phases. Tech reviewer Mr. Mobile launched a phone that looks like a BlackBerry. Physical keyboard, buttons, full nostalgia. He calls it distraction-free, which is true because the only distraction is strangers stopping to say, "Oh wow, I had one of those in 2007. Drusky released a mega church parody skit that raised millions in fake donations. He played a pastor so convincing people almost prayed. The skit escalated into him being suspended above the congregation, refusing to let them leave until donations were met, which is comedy, yes, but also a documentary if we're honest. Darman continues to dominate Facebook and YouTube with moral lesson videos, short films where someone does one bad thing and is immediately taught a life lesson by a stranger in a hoodie. Darman has essentially created the Marvel Cinematic Universe of consequences. Adam Wahid keeps dropping viral sketches filmed entirely on his phone. Minimal setup, maximum payoff. Proof that the best production value is still timing, confidence and commitment to the bit. Harder than anyone else in the room, that is, anyway. Alex Cooper made headlines at the Golden Globes. The Call Her Daddy host crowdsourced her outfit choice for fans, which means podcast hosts are now red carpet figures. We've reached the era where microphones come with stylists. Talking about that, let's have a look at the podcasts. The Golden Globes added a podcast category and Amy Poehler won, which makes sense. Podcast replacing television and then being awarded by television? That's the most circular thing imaginable. Amy joked about how many celebrities have become podcasters. That's bold coming from someone with a podcast. That's like opening a cafe and yelling, "Has anyone noticed all these cafes out here?" Jay Walker launched the podcast and a TV show at the same time. Podcast first, TV tie-in second, which is ambitious. I struggle to manage a calendar. This man launched an ecosystem. Emma Chamberlain rang in New Year's singing karaoke in the snow with Sabrina Carpenter, which feels less like a party and more like a lifestyle brand manifested into physical form. Somewhere a Gen Z mood board just reached enlightenment. A new narrative podcast called On Hold is gaining buzz. Each episode focuses on people waiting for results, for life to change, for answers, which is kind of beautiful. It's also exactly what podcast listeners are doing when someone says, quick story. Authors are also now launching books through podcasts instead of tours. There's no signings, no readings, just an hour of talking and hoping someone buys chapter 1. Honestly, that's efficient. Podcasting is now officially award season content. Between the Golden Globes and Industry Award, podcasts have entered their we wear suits now phase. Podcast studios now look like talk shows. LED walls, cinema lighting, zero applause. All of the production of late night with none of the validation. Radio shows are being chopped into podcasts immediately after airing, which means we now have podcasts of shows about conversations that have already happened. Time has officially folded in on itself. Podcast conferences are bigger than ever. Thousands of people flying across the world to talk about, talking. The medium built on intimacy now requires lanyards. So let's just recap. An emu escaped. Animals got popsicles. Mullets were judged. Dogs are smarter than us. Worms found their people. YouTube billionaires are broke. Phones, they're going backwards. CVs, now only 2 lines. Podcasts are winning Golden Globes. We are watching the world evolve in real time, and it's occasionally going to trip over on its own cleverness. And honestly, that feels about right. But it's not as clever as our guest today. Man, this is going to blow your mind. Tom, let's roll these titles. This guest is a fearless storyteller from Australia whose films don't just entertain, they challenge and provoke thought. As a creative force behind Wagtail Films, she directed and has written powerful stories that shine a light on humanity in all its complexity. Her award-winning feature, The Flood, shook audiences and critics alike, proving she's a filmmaker and she refuses to compromise on truth or vision. A champion for the underrepresented and an absolute powerhouse in the industry. Please welcome to the show, Victoria Wharfe McIntyre.
Wow, hello. Thank you, Dave. Was I actually on screen the time you were doing that? Because I've just realised I look like I've been dragged through a hedge. But anyway, that's the nice niche directors sit in. Nobody wants to look at us, which is just how we like it.
Oh, I do. That's why I'm here, Victoria.
Anyway, that was a lovely introduction. Thank you, Dave.
Oh, well, let me kick off. I want to go really hard and really deep into the industry. And I want to say, what country was the pavlova first made?
Dave, we all know it's Australian. So I'm with the New Zealanders constantly trying to take Australian talent, creativity, and turn it into their own. We know.
Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Please thank you. Oh, Victoria, how did it all start for you? What would if we go way back to when you were a little girl? What was your thoughts back then as to what you wanted to do or where you wanted to be? Was it always the industry or?
Well, I think it was everything. Like, I think when you're a kid, whenever you're come into contact with people or activities that are inspirational or exciting, you think, yeah, I want to do that. So, of course, I wanted to be a vet. I wanted to be an architect. I wanted to be an astronaut. But sitting in the Gladstone Cinema in Rockhampton in the 70s, when, not the Gladstone Cinema in Rockhampton, the Gladstone Cinema in Gladstone, in a slung Hessian A-frame seat, when John Williamson's score came for Star Wars, and I was just like, oh my God, like I was a little kid. And we're going to say very little because it was the 70s.
Like 3 or so. Yeah, I get it.
I don't know how I was allowed in there. It was crazy. But yeah, from that moment, it was, wow, I want to be involved in making and telling stories that are so impactful on humans. Like, film is such an incredibly impactful art and medium and storytelling tool that humans have, and it directly affects people, and I've been so affected by films that I've seen that have caused me to question the nature of society and the world and human interaction and how we treat the planet and all of those things. So I made my way here eventually. It was a long road.
I mean, going back to Australia let's go with Australia in the 80s, was there even much of an option for film in Australia? I mean, I'm guessing they had their own TV, Home and Away or whatever shows they used to produce locally, but was movies a big thing in Australia back then?
Yeah, well, we had the new wave in the 70s come through. So your Bruce Beresfords, your Peter Weirs, Picnic at Hanging Rock, all those kind of, well, they called it the new wave cinema that came in. So, yeah, and that really did hang over into the 80s. The films became a lot more 80s orientated. But we were still making a lot of films, and there was great government support financially for people to invest in films, which meant that, we made quite a lot of them, as opposed to now.
I don't know about Australian government's investment in movies. Has it dwindled down? Has it stopped being what it was?
Well, they changed the way they support things. So yes, there is a producer offset, which means that 40%, but really it works out to be about 36% of approved films the government will rebate the budget on. So that's a huge help. But it used to be, I suppose, a bit more of the Wild West, where private investors could really write off what they put into films. And that did mean that we were making a lot more films. But since COVID and the American writers' strike and actors' strike also affected Australia, strangely enough. So I read the latest statistics that we're down 60% in production. So that's a lot.
Wow, jeepers. Well, New Zealand's picking it up in comparison to that. I mean, the New Zealand film industry's it's just started to soar. Movies like Minecraft and some of the other later ones are now coming over here to actually film. So it's interesting you say that. So I wonder if that's just shifted the pendulum slightly.
Well, again, like Pavlova, you're stealing all our great ideas. It's like, take your feet off the accelerator. Give the a go.
Why, when you can get a good New Zealand Pavlova? I mean, I didn't.
New Zealand makes wonderful films. I love New Zealand films. So
yes,
sadly, it is. You talk about things like Minecraft and that kind of thing, and we're all building these big studios, but it's international productions that come in and suck it all up. And our own stories, our culture, our voices are dwindling and are in danger of dying unless we all support and get out and start watching Australian and New Zealand films, demanding of our political leaders that our cultural identity is supported through a medium that is so impactful. So...
No, I think you're right there. I mean, yeah, it is good because it boosts the economy. It brings in jobs. It creates opportunities. However, you're quite right. Our stories are dwindled down by the big multi-million dollars coming through. And we don't have that money to invest to be able to showcase that ourselves to the wider world. So
that's right. And if streamers were forced to have, like what we're trying to get happening in Australia is the 20% reinvest in Australian stories. So I think the streamers take in was 4 to 6 billion a year from Australians, with no imperative to have to put that back into telling Australian stories. Whereas TV stations, they've got a 20% quota, always have. And so Australian TV is still made, and that needs to happen for all of our countries with streamers, I think.
Wow. So
this isn't very fun, is it, Dave? I've got all political.
That's just the way this goes. Honestly, I started a conversation earlier with a director, and he was in LA, and it took about 10 minutes of talking about movies until he moved into American politics. And boy, did we get stuck on that one for a while. Yeah.
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me about American politics.
No, I'm not going into it again. That's a whole quagmire. We'll leave that. Yeah.
Makes us very happy with our political leaders, though.
Yes. Yeah, we'll just watch from the outside. Look at
My
you
husband
guys.
always says they're followers, not leaders. And I think...
Well, they got a crown now. Anyway, stop it, Dave. Stop it.
No. Let's talk about something fun.
So you've seen Star Wars. You've been inspired by the score of the music, how it makes you feel. You're learning about how it develops, and then for yourself, at what point did you enter in and dip your toe?
Very early, I wrote a play in primary school for myself as a star vehicle. And we did a big tour of classrooms around the primary school. And I got the bug from then. So it was a case of becoming an actor, because I think when you see a movie, all you see are the actors. You don't see the director or the cinematographer or costume. You're just lost in the story, which is as it should be. So I, high school musicals, went on to study acting, worked in the UK, worked a little bit here, but really kind of realized that I was a terrible ham and not a great actor. So
that must have been a hard pill to swallow.
I mean, I'm not cut out for like the auditioning and it's just, I don't know. I want to row my own boat, I guess. So
yeah,
went back to school, got a degree in writing and drama, etc., etc. Started writing things. Other people were making my things like shorts or this or that. And then I thought, well, it's not really how I think it should be rendered. So I started doing my own work myself. And that's kind of how it happened.
Wow. And how did you find it? I mean, if you were coming from one side of acting and looking at it from that perspective, then moving into the side of developing and building it yourself, how did you find the change and the understanding of the other world, so to speak?
Oh, well, I loved it. I mean, acting is storytelling. So, and I mean, actors do improvise and create and generate story through their performance. So it's not a big leap to transition into writing. So, and from there, when you're on set watching people direct your work, that kind of thing, you learn how you would like to handle it or do it, and you just start small and build up, and there you go. Next thing you know,
love it.
You're here talking about it.
Well, the next thing you know, the Telegram Man is sat in the Oscars Academy Permanent Archive. How did that happen?
It got a BAFTA for Best Foreign Short in the US, and I think it just got the notice and there was an invitation. So, I mean, it helps that we've got legendary performers in it like Jack Thompson and Sigrid Thornton and Gary Sweet, who are all, have an international profile. So that certainly helped. And just went on from there to the next one and the next one and the next one until there was a possibility of making a feature.
That must have been really exciting, like to see what you're creating and what you're doing taking off and to watch it in motion.
I suppose it is exciting, but I think, I don't know, I'm always just looking at the next step, the next creation, the next thing. So And it's also like it's bloody terrifying directing films. You know? I mean, I shot a proof of concept for a colonial Gothic erotic vampire romance thriller Western.
What? Hang on a second. Hang on. You've just thrown more things into that. Like, there's more genres going on there. So, like, Western, romantic, Gothic, vampire. That's, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm really, really pleased with it, actually. And it's actually also doing the festival circuit because, I mean, although it's a proof of concept for the feature version, I just wanted to do it so it was also standalone short, so it could also go into festivals and that kind of thing, which always helps with getting the momentum for a feature version to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's getting into a lot of festivals and traveling around the world, so that's good. And I particularly wanted to explore the erotic from the female gaze in this film. We really don't get to see that very often. Like our films are, well, only 16% worldwide are directed by women. So
Wow.
generally, yeah, the eroticism that we see in films is via men. And it's a different appeal to women. So many women have said to me that, oh, this is something I can connect to in terms of eroticism and that kind of thing. It's more of a female approach to it. And so I was really wanting to play around in that sort of area of filmmaking to broaden it out into a feature, whether it be that film or a different film. And yeah, I'm really pleased with the results. Our actors were incredible.
Wow. So it's not the typical pizza delivery guy who's like half naked. That's not the erotic.
No, not that. No. And not the throw them up against a wall and bang them hard kind of stuff. No. It's more artful, Dave. It's more artful and sensual.
It's 11:30 in the morning and we're talking about banging people up against a wall.
Yeah. I'm sure there are people doing it right now. It's always 11:30 somewhere.
So how do you approach directing? Like, everyone approaches it differently. You've probably got your own style, whether it's a quiet talk with people, whether it's being short, sharp, and very clear and loud about it. What's your approach to directing?
It's always tailored to the individual, whether it be an actor or a head of department or whoever. So when hang on, I forgot to put myself on Do Not Disturb. So
who was that? Who messaged? What did they say?
I don't know, because I'm like technically so poor with stuff. It's really embarrassing. Like, I cannot for the life of me retain, in terms of lenses and shooting, whether the big numbers are wide or narrow. It's ridiculous. It's like this mental block. So Kevin Scott, who's the cinematographer I always work with or always try to work with, he's forever like, Vic. Like, just tell me again. Just goes to show you don't really need to know a lot of stuff to direct.
Oh, I don't believe that.
But no, it's always a case-by-case basis, and all actors you need to work with them in their way, in the way that works for them. Whether it be gently ushering or delving into a deeper recess with them, whatever it takes, and I will not move on until there is truth on the screen. So I take the pressure off for them straight away and go, doesn't matter if it takes 100 takes, don't care. Takes one take, fantastic. But we keep going till we get to the truth. And I think that's what actors want to do. They all want to deliver a truthful performance. So it really it takes the pressure off and opens the space up, much to the chagrin of the first AD, of course, who's continually like, on the flood, because we were working so in depth and in deep consultation with the First Nation elders on that project. Quite a few times we were dealing with heavy topics and portraying very confronting stuff on screen, which again isn't what I thought the film was going to be. But the film tells you when you start what it's going to be. It's like, I am this, and you support that or you get a film that doesn't work. So of course we supported that. And we would stop it. Sometimes like the energy flow just wouldn't be there. It just wouldn't be feeling right. And Poppy Mac, one of the elders who was always on set with us, he'd be like, I think we just really need to do a ceremony now. So we would just halt everything and we would do a ceremony, a smoking ceremony, whatever the First Nations people felt was appropriate for the space that we were in. And that did affect the schedule, but unless you do that, what's the point of making the film? If you're going to try and rush through and not capture what you need to capture, what's the point? So
that you've just sparked me to wonder, and it's Crocodile Dundee 2. Did they pay the same respect when they were filming that in Australia in the 80s? And I'm guessing the answer is no, to the land and the respect of the people, because that was all supposed to be trying to showcase the Aborigines within the environment in a small aspect. But did they pay respect to the ground?
I don't know. I wasn't involved in that.
No.
I mean,
no, I know, no.
I mean, I'm far too young. I would say it is still vastly underdone.
Yes.
For First Nations filmmakers who are like First Nations directors, I'm sure they do on their own sets, I would imagine so. But certainly for us, there was no other way. It had to be that way. And we were on very powerful land, and I feel like, well, my role as a filmmaker is to connect people with nature and the planet and First Nation understanding and cultural experience in whatever way I can when it comes to telling a story. So even a story that doesn't involve First Nations people, the landscape is always a character. It's always telling the story as well. So yeah, that's what I'm into.
No, I agree. Sorry, I just totally diverted there. Now, Victoria, we have some fast fire questions on this show. I don't know if you're keen for the fast fire question test.
Well, I can't guarantee a fast answer, but I'm more than happy.
We can try. What's the one thing you can't live without?
Oh, I was going to say my little schnoodles, but again, oh my God, like this is supposed to be a comedy. They both died this year. So
I'm sorry.
They still are so present that it's like, oh, my little darlings, like that was the first ad. So in fact, Bob is currently starring in a little film we managed to make before he died. Just a sweet little film that's also traveling the world at the moment, and he's still spreading his message of love.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
What kind of tea?
I'm currently drinking English organic organic breakfast tea.
Nice. It's all right. When people answer tea, I always ask that because they come out with some weird, wacky ideas of what tea is.
So I've got your approval and blessing. Like English breakfast is okay.
No, nailed it. So you're good. Yeah. This is a tricky one. Okay. Favorite movie?
Impossible.
Yes, a lot of people say the same thing.
But there is a movie called Impossible, isn't there? With Naomi
Mission.
Watts. No, The Impossible it is. But yes, of course, Mission Impossible. In lieu of that, I will mention 5 female directors.
Oh, yes, please.
Claire Denis, Catherine Bigelow, Jennifer Kent, Gillian Armstrong, and Kim Ferran.
What's the last song you listened to?
It was in the car yesterday. It was on songs to listen to in the car. I think it might have been Fleetwood Mac. Might have even been Husk.
I do love a bit of Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, this is my favorite. What's a hidden talent that nobody knows about?
I tend to like to try and have all my talents on display. I am a fabulous op shopper. I have a real knack for finding something special in a rack of tat.
Love it. I love op shopping as well.
Me too.
What's a book that changed your perspective?
Oh, well, almost every book, but I will have to say Jane Austen, let's say Pride and Prejudice.
My wife loves that. If you were going to watch Pride and Prejudice, which version would you watch?
Colin Firth.
Yeah. I'm told the same.
Well, actually, in The Flood, I get the head bad guy to do the Colin Firth white shirt in the water thing, because I thought it was a nice juxtaposition to have this horrendous character we're supposed to hate, but to put him in this very objectified, beautiful kind of thing. I wanted you to feel just disgust at yourself for finding him attractive.
I love it. If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
Probably just hanging out at home. We are on 120 acres of subtropical rainforest surrounded by a national park. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so this morning I was watching 3 wallabies outside my window just eating my trees, looking at me like... So there's nothing more delightful than just setting up the banana lounge in the shade and hearing the sounds of the jungle. And yeah, so I probably just do that all the time.
How many spiders and snakes are we talking here, Victoria?
Oh, too many for you, I'd say, Dave.
Oh, way too many for me, yeah.
But they're not out to get you. They're just living their life, doing their thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that.
Catching flies in your house and eating mosquitoes, and they're doing you a favour.
I lived in Sydney. I lived in Bondi Road North, and I remember that there was a funnel web in my bathtub.
Oh yeah.
And someone came in and caught it in a glass, and you say it wasn't out to get me. The only thing that spider wanted to do right there was kill me. I saw it as it went back on its... Yes.
Well, maybe it was just asking for help to get out of the bath.
No, it wanted to kill me. I could see it in its eye.
Don't let fear rule your life, Dave. Let it...
I didn't. I just moved away from Australia, that's all. What's the worst job you ever had and why?
Oh, I'm going to tell you, it wasn't my first job because I always had jobs, but I had a gap year between high school and university. So my first full-time job was on the cookie counter at Myer. I didn't last long. I went for the first day, and it was like 8 hours standing up. Like, I've never done that in my life. Or you spend all day sitting down, and I'm in agony. My legs were killing me. My back was killing me. I'm like, is this what people do? They stand up all day and it feels like this? So, yeah, it was hell. I soon found myself another job that involved more sitting down.
So true. I bet you these days they'd have to provide him with a chair. I bet, like, the world's changed.
Well, yeah, true. Or at least a rubber mat on the floor. I mean, come on.
Yes. What's your guilty pleasure snack?
Well, I'm a great baker. I make lots of tarts and, cakes and things like that. So I don't feel guilty. I actually don't feel guilty about anything.
Nice.
I
Neither should you.
do it. I've made the choice. I will have to deal with the consequences. That's different to guilt. So, but I do like to sit in bed watching a movie, eating dessert.
I can't fault that.
And, I love it. I'm not going to feel guilty about that.
You shouldn't.
No.
What app do you use the most?
I guess, I do use the weather app a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But in terms of social media, I guess it would be Facebook probably. I'm of that generation. Also Instagram, but I'm not a TikToker or anything like that. I just can't take on board any more stuff. I've invested too much in what I've already got.
I'm so with you. I Facebook is one of my things, and these days everyone looks at me like I'm so old to have Facebook. And I watched the Social Network. I watched that last week, and yeah, I still don't feel old. I still feel like it's fairly new to me. So I don't know.
I feel like the 90s were 10 years ago.
Yes, bring them back. Oh, I miss the days where the phones got smaller and there was no apps on them whatsoever.
Oh, I had the best phone. It was like this teeny tiny Motorola flip phone. It was literally that big, and it was just so nice. It had real buttons.
Yeah, and when you were done, you closed it and you knew it was over. Like there was no chance. Yeah.
Yes, the snap close. That's what we need.
Yeah. Oh, I bring it back.
And the bloody pocket dials. Anyway, enough said.
What's the country you still want to visit?
I haven't been to Italy, so I really would like to go to Italy. Or as a friend of mine termed it, shittily, when they went and it was overrun with tourists. So maybe it's better in the imagination.
I can recommend Monte Pulciano. That was beautiful when we went there. So, yes.
Yes, well, fingers crossed. I managed to get there.
Yeah. If you could have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, and everyone's at the table, who are they going to be?
My mother, dead. I
love how you said that. It was just my mum.
Bob and Diddy,
dead.
also dead. My schnoodles. Yeah, I'd have a party of my dead loved ones.
To be honest, actually, out of anything anyone could say, that is the best dinner to have, because like a lot of people say Jesus or they say something else,
Jesus.
And they don't know these people. They've never met them. But to have your loved ones there who've shared your life already, to be able to say what you've been up to, and give you confirmation that what you've done's right or whatever, that's way better than anything. I've never thought about that.
Yeah, well, also, Mum and I have unfinished business, so it would be a good chance to chat that through. Because she died when I was a teenager, so I never got to have an adult relationship with her. So that she died when there was still all that teenage angst between mothers and daughters. So it would be a lovely opportunity to interact as an adult.
Yeah, because they say it's in your 20s that you start to, and from my own experience, you start to come back and be normal again. So
Yeah.
build the relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
And final question on the list. In one word, how would you like to be remembered?
Bold.
Ooh, nice word. I like it. Victoria, what have you got coming up? What can we all look forward to in the near future?
Well, speaking of bold,
Me?
yeah. You're bolding very well. I have a TV show in the works, which is, well, I guess kind of outrageous. It's called Nuns with Guns. And I guess it's like Killing Eve meets The Boys, set in a world of religious occupation, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
That sounds fascinating.
Yeah,
How many?
pretty cool.
How many episodes?
I think the first season will be 6. See how it goes after there, I guess. But that's sort of still, in development. Got a bit of a way to go, but hopefully next year. And a feature film that is inspired, well, it's actually an adaptation of Second Chance, which is the true biographical story of a beaten, neglected, abused horse who was rescued from the knackery truck and goes on to become a national hero. It's a true Australian story. So
Wow.
yeah, that's actually a really beautiful film. So yeah, fingers crossed for that next year too. We'll see how it goes.
That sounds awesome, Victoria. It's been an absolute pleasure to spend some time with you. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh, you say that to all the girls, I'm sure.
We're going to be back right after these messages.
Government's decided these lands are to be reclaimed. You and your children be reassigned to properties.
We'll be taking you.
Please. Where help is needed.
Promise, we'll go find you. We'll go find you.
Come on, gonna bite. You're joking.
I fought for you, mob.
We promised them, treated like everyone else.
That's just the way it is. All these bloody lies. Taking back what's mine.
If your child was stolen, what would you do?
Don't let what they do destroy you.
Destroy me. They made me.
You have to let her go.
Dad!
Binda!
She's with people who love her.
I'm your dad now. But you gotta pay for your crimes.
You will bend the knee, my son.
I love you.
I love you.
Now you've been a very bad fool.
We want a drink.
Holy shit.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
What's that, Tom? Are we sponsored by anyone? No, Tom, you know clearly we're not sponsored by anyone at all. Apple. Apple doesn't sponsor this show. Not yet. I just simply love the way that all of their devices integrate with each other seamlessly. And, it just works. But no, they're definitely not a sponsor of the show. Yet. Oh, look at that, Tom. Look at that. Just working. Just working. What's that? Oh.